Yo, what is up guys? It's the Goblin and welcome back to another Fortnite Battle Royale tips and tricks video. In tonight's video, I have two victory royales that I'm going to be analyzing these gameplays, talking about what I did good, talking about what I did bad, and giving you guys some tips and tricks that can really help you improve at Fortnite. Hopefully you guys will enjoy this video. If you guys could drop a like on this thing, I would very much appreciate it. It only takes a second out of your day and it really does motivate me to keep pumping out this content and making these tips and tricks videos because I know people do enjoy them. So smack that like button. That would be absolutely incredible if we could go for 1,500 likes. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new and not already subscribed, and let's get right into it. So I'm going to talk about my decision making, what was happening in these gameplays, and like I said, we have two different victory royales that we're going to be going over here today. So first of all, when you land nowadays, I always talk about the double S, shields and shotgun. That is exactly what you need to be looking for as soon as you land. And of course, the fights start right away in this game. First of all, with this first player, I'm going on and I realize that there is going to be a third-party pressure. However, I continue to put the pressure on because I do not want that third party to steal my kill there, just because I want credit for the kill. However, that means that by chasing that kill, I have there's bigger chance that that person can do damage to me, which ends up happening. Luckily, I do end up winning with a slick little edit there and actually winning against those two players. However, when I'm trying to heal up right here, I actually get pressured by another player, and this is what's kind of unfortunate about the latest patch, I guess you could say, is that you can get pressured like this because you don't get 50 health or shield and you don't get any mats on the kill. So you can see right here, I'm literally out of mats. So I just have to play it safe and get them go old school Call of Duty, use the tree as natural cover and take them out like I'm playing Blackout or Apex Legends right there. So that was a pretty good strategy and the way to take them out, just because I didn't have any material. So that's how I was able to win that gunfight. Once I won those fights, basically what you want to do, and what I usually do, is I loot the rest of, once you've kind of won the area that you landed at, for example, Retail Row, you basically want to loot the rest of it and then move on with that loot towards the mid to end game. That's sort of the strategy for getting wins. Right here, as I'm moving on into the zone, I see a player over here miss a bunch of shots, but eventually get the kill because that player was already pretty weak, and it resulted in a fairly easy kill for me. So you can see basically here how this worked. The early game, the early game is probably the toughest sometimes because it's the hardest to control. When you're in the mid to late game, you usually have more factors that are under your control than in the early game. So right here you can see I am trying to push this player, and here I'm pushing with the double ramp reinforce. I get up and I get some damage in. Now usually this is what will happen when you do get damage in. Players will back up. I actually go full on aggro on this player, get some damage in, and luckily it works out. A lot of people will do that where they go for the trap right when you're in their base, but usually if you have a good shotgun shot, you can take them out and win that way. Right here, this player is already putting pressure on me, and that's part of the reason why I rushed that player so aggressively. Not only did I get damage in on that first player, which of course when I get damage in, I want to go on offense and do more damage and go for the kill, but I also knew there was another player here, so I want to deal with that first fight quickly, right? That's the strategy, so you don't get third party. When you know a third party's coming, you either got to try to disengage or deal and kill each of them separately very quickly. So right here, this guy obviously was trying to build up on me. I just keep matching his builds. He blocks me off right there. I'm always just matching this guy's builds, but eventually, you know, we're not in the zone. I realize, okay, I have 3 jump pads. I have a bunch of stuff just based on how well I was playing earlier, or not how well I was playing, but I guess those kills that I got, the 5 kills that I got, I was able to get the jump pads, so I'm going to use those to my advantage. Going into the late game, jump pads are absolutely huge, especially in this season. I think they are so damn important. So you can see right here, of course, I make my way into the zone. Another player is down here. I have the height advantage on this player, and honestly, I should have hit more bullets than that, and absolutely going crazy with the hamster ball. This gameplay was before the hamster ball got nerfed to, like they took the HP down by 100. Anyway, this player, I had the height advantage on them. Yeah, you can see as soon as you get those white hit markers, that means you're hitting them for their straight up HP. That means it's time for offense. I go aggressive, get this loot, and now I'm in a pretty good position to win this game because I had a decent amount of materials and all that sort of stuff. Eventually I move up and I get to this position where I'm in the final 4, and I have in my inventory only a couple minis and a glider redeploy. Now with glider redeploy, when it was 500 mats and you got the extra health and shield per kill, I talked about how I thought glider redeploy was important to carry in like every game. Nowadays, I think it's important to carry sometimes, but it's up to personal preference, and it's more situational depending on how many mats you have and stuff like that. But when you do have glider redeploy in your inventory, like I do right here, you want to abuse it. And you can see I'm just sitting literally up on a sky base because someone else had built that. I used a jump pad and I flew over to it. And this is another benefit of having the glider having the glider redeploy is when it comes down to going into a build fight, you have no worries about what is this built on, you know, am I going to fall, anything like that. You don't have anything to worry about. You can focus solely on winning that build fight, which I think is a very, very important key. Right here you can see I play this mountain and I get a good position on the map where I do have a good amount of high ground. And my number one tip is, like I said, when you do have a glider redeploy, you might not be carrying it every game, but abuse it like I am in this game. There's no reason not to hold the high ground like I was doing, because I can just do that. Which of course you don't want to mess up, and eventually I drop down, and then once again they get damage on me, but once again I'm just going straight for that high ground again, The only reason that I did drop down was to make the rotation instead of just building all the way across the top, because that would burn through all of my mats. So I sort of risked it to save my mats, if that makes sense. You can see right here again the player, they're trying to build up to me, but I'm always trying to keep this high ground. I drop down when I get an opportunity to get a kill there, and then of course I'm just trying to maintain high ground until I'm out of mats. So that's the plan, is use your resources. You want to be ending games where, you know, of course you can, if you have 3,000 mats and the guy's right in front of you for a free shot, end the game, it doesn't matter, but you want to use your resources to the maximum capacity and be able to win games like that. So that was that first game, and I think that we saw in that game really how I was able to get some kills in early game and keep it under control, and then when it came to late game, just play smart and keep the positioning. So here we have the second gameplay here, which is another solo match where I land at retail row. This is the first fight of the game, where it's basically a build fight. I'm trying to stay above this player. I'm taking some shotgun shots when they are available. Of course, sometimes I'm missing the shots. Eventually, this player ends up falling off when, you know, I had that player down to very low health anyway. Of course, and then I was able to get that kill, which is a cool new feature that you do get kills for stuff like that. Now, here is where you're going to get more kills in the mid to late game. When you see stuff like this is the third party, and these are more effective than ever because of how the patch is right now. You can see these two people were fighting each other. They probably did damage into each other. They probably used mats, used different stuff like that. But when I showed up, I'm full health. I'm ready to go, and I was able to get those 2 kills fairly easily, and then of course celebrate by taking those 2 players' loot, which had a lot of gun upgrades and will keep me going good into the late game. So that's a lot of times how you will get gun upgrades, is in the mid game, those little flocks of fights where it's usually surrounded by like a build fight and stuff like that. When you win those, you can usually upgrade your guns, and honestly I wouldn't recommend going into late game with like a green shotgun or stuff like that. Like, you really want to have good weapons. Good weapons matter in this game, and because of the drop chances, they're not as easy to get, but if you fight, you can get them quite easily just by winning fights. So right here I put the pressure on this player, and this player boxes up immediately, turtles up, which is a smart play to do. Now I didn't want to go all in on that player because I knew there was a third party around here sniping, so that's why instead of just trying to break that guy's box and get possession of it, I try to build up here and just make sure that I'm safe. This guy comes flying right into my base. I try to trap him, he jumps out, and I'm just building up, trying to make sure that I maintain high ground. Whenever they try to build up, you can see I block him off right there with a floor. Just stuff like that is very important, and I think that winning build fights, you can see how I'm almost always having the high ground in these gameplays, and whenever it gets close, I'm trying to block the other player off, or if I do lose high ground, usually I'll try to drop down or do something smart. But you can see here, I have high ground right now. I'm in a great position. This angle for me shooting at this player is a lot better than the angle would be for them to shoot at me. Of course, I drop down here because I see these players are fighting. I get the kill in on that player, and I make a mistake there because I drop down, because I of course knew these players were weak because they were fighting each other. I heard the shots going off, so I was just eager to go get both those kills like I did earlier and get the loot and all those heals and stuff like that. But of course, I dropped down without really paying attention. I didn't build, and I lost like 50 health there, which ended up not mattering because I just one-shotted the player anyway. But that was another area where I was able to get 2 kills. Here's another one where this player tries to build fight with me, and you can see there I hit him with the pyramid, and that's something that, even though I messed up my builds a little bit right after, look how far above this player I got just with one pyramid. It's very, very effective, and once you're above a player, I mean, if you're an efficient builder, it's pretty easy just to match this player over and over. I tried to go for shooting him down, which was probably a mistake because he was a little bit closer than I thought. Anyway, I'm just matching this player with builds over and over and over and over. Every time he goes up, I go up, and just trying to make sure that I can maintain the high ground. That's basically the plan. At this point, when you build like a lot of ramps in the sky, when you see people do that, it's usually because I'm trying to block off the airspace. I'm trying to block off the sky and make it so he really has no way to go. Of course, when I'm above the player, it's a lot easier shooting down on him, and he didn't even probably see me up there when I do get the shot, and I'm able to kill him. Here we are, top 3, and it gets madness happens. This guy rushes me right away. That's usually what you want to do when someone jumps into your 1x1, is you want to jump and put a floor on them, and it ends up working out. But then this next player knocks me down, and this is where things get intense because I'm now getting third-partied. You know, I was able to benefit off the third party, but now it's looking like, oh my goodness, I'm going to lose this game, maybe possibly because of a third party. Okay, he's spamming noob tubes, which noob tubes are basically just grenade launchers. That's what they were called in like Modern Warfare 2. That's why me and my friends still call them those. Shout out to anyone who played Modern Warfare 2. Let me know in the comments if you did. But anyway, basically, what I'm doing is I'm trying to stay away from those grenades, try to keep the high ground, normal stuff right here, trying to heal up a little bit. But I realized, okay, this is a 1v1. This guy's going to keep shooting me down. This guy has the grenade launchers, but I have a decent amount of mats, so I'm not too concerned. I get some damage in there, around 99 damage, 33 times 3, I think it is. So I want to go aggressive and push this player. However, by doing that, of course, it's just hard to dodge all those grenades. It's a lot harder than RPGs because the fire rate of them to dodge and block, I would say. But anyway, so we go into a build fight where we're both pretty weak. I mean, I'm definitely more weak than him, I would think. So that's why I make this decision to drop down. I was more weak than him, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to drop down here. I was contemplating if I even wanted to go for that build fight, and I think this was the right decision. So I end up dropping down, and then I end up building up back when I get my opportunity. So I knock him down there, and I take high ground. A really smart play here. However, I make a mistake here where basically I want to drop down because I realized I only had 130 mats, so I wanted to drop down and go for the finishing shot there, kind of, just because he's still on wood. He might have way more mats than me, but I, of course, was sort of caught up in my inventory there and didn't really have much to do. So it ends up where I have to go for a shot like this with 17 materials left. I have to go for that crazy shot, and it ends up working well. Another one where I probably could have budgeted my materials a little bit better in that second gameplay, but you can see how I'm really using almost all of my resources here. I'm doing the best that I can. I'm able to get these nice kill solo wins pretty consistently. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. I hope this did help you guys out with these tips and tricks. If it did, subscribe, hit that notification bell right next to the subscribe button so you can get first on all of my newest videos, and that's about it. I'll see you in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.